I want all of you to come on camera. Please come on camera. Those who are not on camera, I would request all of you to come on camera. So, as you all know, I am Pranav P, the Sergeant at Arms of the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club. And today, we are in the 15th meeting of the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club. Before we start the meeting, I would like to highlight some key points regarding the meeting. Something which you need to keep in mind when you are in the meeting. The first point is that the meeting room will be blocked for 2 hours, and I hope that all of you will be on the camera for these 2 hours. But when you are on camera, just remember that although your video should be on, your audio should be off. Your audio should be on only when you want to speak, or you need to speak, or when your speaker's turn comes up. Now, some other rules which we follow at the Gabbys Toastmasters Club are: there are topics like religion, sex, and politics. Toastmasters International does not keep any restrictions on them on speaking. But at the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club, however, I would request all the speakers and role takers to abstain from speaking on these points. Also, another thing you need to keep in mind is that we as a club practice some unique values like diversity and inclusion in letter and spirit, and hence I would request that there are no racist, sexist, or any such undertones which create hostility and discomfort to the members. Now, without any further delay, let me call upon the presiding officer for today's meeting. It is none other than Toastmaster Neha J. Neha Jain, the president of the Gabbys Online Toastmasters Club. She works as a finance professional in Cardinal Health International. She is a yoga practitioner, a trainer. She loves traveling, trekking, and playing badminton. So let me hand over to the presiding officer, Neha Jain, to carry on with the meeting. Over to you, Toastmaster Neha Jain.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pranav, for that lovely introduction. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, let's give a huge round of applause for our Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Pranav. A very good evening to all of you present in this meeting. It's my absolute pleasure to be presiding over this Gabby's Online Toastmaster Club's meeting. I would like to welcome and acknowledge the presence of all the guests and members in the meeting. For the benefits of the guests, I would want to reiterate that Toastmasters is a home to people who wish to face their fear of public speaking. Not only that, if you love to connect and network with others, if you want to hone your leadership skills, Toastmasters is the place for you. It's a safe place to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Dear guests and visiting Toastmasters, we appreciate you joining us. We would love to know more about you, and we will definitely call you at the end of the meeting to share your feedback with us. Now, without any further ado, I would like to welcome our Toastmaster of the day. He is a founder and managing director of the construction management consulting firm. He has over 35 plus years of work experience, trained over 10,000 professionals as a professor. He's none other than the president of the Gabbys Toastmaster Club and the Division B director at District 92, Distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh Ramamurthy. Over to you, Distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh.
Thank you so much. I hope I'm audible. Give me a thumbs up if I'm audible. Toastmasters, college students, club officers, district officers, members of the Gabbys and the Gabbys Online Club. Some accountants here, some dedicated daily Toastmasters also. Passionate Toastmasters and those learning Toastmasters. I welcome you all to this meeting number 15. I'm sure It'll be fun-filled learning and we'll have a lot of takeaways for you. Before I begin with anything else, I want to call out and wish our member, Toastmaster Shefali Singh, a very, very happy birthday. And I wish her all the best in her life ahead. Toastmasters, please look back. Not your back, but look back in the time where the world was 2 years ago. There was devastation, agony, and anxiousness in this world. We were all unclear where the world is heading towards. We lived with extreme caution. And I'm sure each of you have prayed. You have got up to a piece of news and you were living with great fear. I did. A small invisible creature changed this world. It transformed the future. It redesigned the way we live today. In those hard times, little things matter. Refilling your sanitizer bottle, looking for that helping hand, a smile of your neighbor, watching your favorite movie, seeing the sun rise from your balcony, window, or at the terrace. Remember, you were jogging on your terrace, exercising, and walking on the terrace, looking at the post status of your family members, what they have cooked, trying your hands at learning cooking, new recipes, and standing at the weighing scale, those of you who have, and seeing that nothing changed in the display, have given you little joys, isn't it? The past changed our future. Those little things have changed our future. I want to ask you, what little things mattered to you most? What little things changed your life, your feelings, your habits, and the way you do something? Can one or two of you unmute and let me know? Abigail? Or can I call upon anybody else?
I think I would like to go ahead.
Please go ahead, Monica.
So I think as I grew up and I feel the clarity about what I want in my life has been a life changer for me. So as soon as you know what you exactly want in your life, what you exactly want to do and accomplish, that is something that has been life changing for me.
Wonderful. How profound it is, isn't it? Small thing, but so important for life. And these small little things and small joys and examples you will get from 270,000 Toastmasters Club, in 148 countries, and from those who participate as club members, and there are 14,200 of them who come here at Toastmaster to share their stories. When you attend meetings in these clubs, you will find that Toastmasters meetings have got three sections. Prepared speeches, where people write their speeches in small bits and they become a big bite for 7 to 8 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes. Second section is table topics, where words add to sentences and you see yourself crossing the green, yellow, and the red cards. And evaluation is the third section. Here you will have small bits of tidbits about how you perform, making you feel that you have moved close to your goal. For those who are not role takers today, little things from these three sections are a great way to learn by listening, noting down, and using them in your next speech probably, or use them in your personal or professional life to better it. Learning are in abundance in Toastmasters. Now, let's move to a little bit more of learning here. We learn from information. There's so much of information in this world, in the organization, and teams also have got information. The little things that make up these information is the data. It will become meaningful information when experts look at it and convert it into meaningful information for all of us to understand, to gather, to learn from it. And our general evaluator just does that as senior data analyst. Put your hands together for our VP Education of the Gabbys Toastmasters Club, DTM Nancy Goel, who is going to take us through what is in its store for us as she is doing her role. Over to you, DTM Nancy Goel.
Thank you so much, DTM Nagesh. As I was listening to the data part of it, I was just suddenly started wondering whether I'm in office meeting or I'm in Toastmasters meeting. Did I switch on to the wrong Zoom link here? Thank you so much for such a profound introduction, personalized one. My dear fellow Toastmasters and guests present today, I'll be the general evaluator for the entire meeting. Now, what does a general evaluator do? A general evaluator is somebody who will be evaluating the meeting from beginning till the end. Do you think if you would make a mistake and it will go unnoticed? Ask our Sergeant at Arms, our presiding officer, our speakers, our evaluators, our Toastmaster of the day, table topic master, whosoever is coming up on screen would be evaluated by a general evaluator. That is what a general evaluator does. Well, it's a daunting task. It's not easy. This daunting task, I can't do it alone. I have a team of not 3, but 4 musketeers. Yes, I've got 4 musketeers who are going to help me with this daunting task, and I'll be calling them one by one up on stage to introduce their role, which are the parts of the meeting that they will be observing and helping me with my role. The first musketeer is timer. A timer for today is a biotechnologist turned into psychology enthusiast, currently pursuing PhD in training and development from ISTD Delhi. Aside from being a student, her keen interest lies in interacting with new faces and making friends. And I'm sure that's the reason she's part of the Gabbys Toastmasters Club. Please put your hands together for our timer for today, Toastmaster Maanvi Kumar. Toastmaster Maanvi, over to you.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests present here. I, being the timer of the meeting, will be noting down the timings and will be helping you manage your time today. So today, for the timings, the prepared speeches will be of 5 to 7 minutes. I'll show the green card. I'll show the green card at 5 minutes, the yellow card at 6 minutes, and the red card at 7 minutes. For the table topics, the time limit is 1 to 2 minutes. I'll show the green card at 1 minute. At 1 minute 30 seconds, a yellow card will be shown, and at 2 minutes, a red card will be shown. Same goes with the evaluation. The timing is 2 to 3 minutes. The green will be shown at 2 minutes. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, the yellow card will be shown and the red card will be shown at 3 minutes. Please be sure that you stay in time because every single second can be a reason of disqualification. And especially in the contest, it is very important to be on time. So why not let's practice today and be there on time. I'll submit my report in the general evaluation session. Thank you so much. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Maanvi. I would request every speaker who's coming up on stage, whether for their prepared speeches, evaluations, or table topics, or in fact, if you are attempting any of the roles today, please pin the timer so that you know when you're going over time. Thank you so much. Now, moving on to our second musketeer. Do you look at the grass at the back? This is the grass tendered by our counter today. He's someone who loves to tender to his garden, someone who loves playing badminton, all the way from Sri Lanka, an electrical engineer please put your hands together for Toastmaster Gihan Vikramasinghe. Toastmaster Gihan, our counter for today. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. As our counter today, I will listen and make a note of unnecessary words and sounds used by all speakers and role players during the meeting. This report would focus on filler words, inappropriate interjections, use of crutch words, repetitive words, and unintentional long or short pauses. I will present my report during the general evaluation session. Over to general evaluation.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gihan. Everyone, please ensure that you are not bringing us an awesome report. Let's have an awesome report from the R counter towards the end of the meeting. Moving on with our third musketeer, someone who loves to read non-fiction books. This is something I cannot relate to, but I'm sure he is an avid reader, someone who loves non-fiction books, someone who is president of Toastmasters Indranagar Pride. Just because he's president of Toastmasters Indranagar Pride doesn't mean that he's an outsider. He is a proud member of the Gabbys Toastmasters Club. Please put your hands together for Toastmaster Punith C K. Toastmaster Punith, our grammarian for today. Over to you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Goel, for the warm welcome. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guests. Grammar is essential for effective and clear communication. It helps us to ensure your message is clearly understood and reducing the risk of misinterpretation. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all speakers and listening carefully to their language usage. I will take a note if there is any improvement needed in the language usage, and as well as any outstanding words, quote, sayings, or thoughts. As a grammarian, it is also my duty to introduce the word of the day. For today's meeting, the word is iota, which means extremely small amount. An example of using this word: I don't have an iota of doubt about my decision. I will put that in the chart. I encourage everyone to use the word of the day. I will share my report when General Evaluator asked me to do. Thank you, and over to you, General Evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Goel.
Thank you, Toastmaster Punith. Every time anyone hears this word of the day, that is iota, please give a thumbs up. This will show whether you are actively listening, and moreover, this will help our grammarian as well put down his notes correctly. So let's help our grammarian and give a thumbs up the moment you hear this word iota. Coming to my fourth musketeer, last but not the least, someone who's a dedicated educator, a researcher, a mom, a foodie, a movie buff, artist, and a huge introvert. She's going to test your listening skills. Let's hear it for Toastmaster Abigail V. Toastmaster Abigail, our listener for today's meeting. Over to you.
Hi everyone. I'm actually traveling, but I'm privileged to be the listener of the day. Actually, listening skill is the most important skill any individual needs in order to be a better communicator or a better person as such. The listening sort of indicates that if you respect the person or not. So I would love to be the listener of the day for today, writing down my notes when I'm traveling to visit my baby on the way. I'll try to pay complete attention so that I can ask questions to you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abigail. Everyone, please understand you just need to pay attention to what Abigail is paying attention to. And that's the key to cracking the listener's role whenever listener is asking any question to you. That's how I do it. I'm not sure whether you follow this or not. Well, leaving any iota of doubt behind, I must say I signing off as General Evaluator for this General Evaluation section right now, but I'll be back towards the end of the meeting when called upon by our Toastmaster of the day with my General Evaluator report and Taggle Team's report. With this, I hand it over to Toastmaster of the Day, distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh Ramamurthy.
Thank you so much, DTM Nancy Goel. Without losing an iota of time, let's move out to the prepared speeches. Our first speaker makes us laugh with little rhymes he makes when he takes the stage. He was awesome as TMOD for anniversary meeting that we recently had and made it so memorable for us. Karthik Venugopal is attempting L1P3 from Path Engaging Humor. The project being vocal variety and body language. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance his speech. The speech duration timer, please note it is 5 to 7 minutes. And it is being evaluated by our Toastmaster, Sudharma Pereira. Karthik Venugopal. One
DTM
question
Nagesh.
that changed my life. One question that changed my life, Karthik Venugopal.
DTM Nagesh, our first speaker is Toastmaster Sanjana G.
I didn't know it was changed. Is it? Okay.
It's there in the agenda.
My bad. Small little things happen like this. Okay. Give me a moment, please. Okay. Here we go. Every little dream matters for me. How I dreamt walking into an IIT campus, attending classes there, playing in the serene campus, and reading books on business. All this is a reality for our first speaker, who is a student at IIT Varanasi. She's working on two techs, B.Tech and M.Tech. She's attempting her L5P1 speech of High Performance Leadership Project. This project, the purpose is for member to apply his or her leadership styles, planning knowledge to develop a project plan, organize a guiding committee, and implement a plan with the help of a team. The purpose of this particular speech that is being attempted here is for her to share some aspects of her experience completing that project. 5 to 7 minute speech. Toastmaster Sanjana Garai, my final decision, Toastmaster Sanjana Garai.
I remember the day when we had embarked on this journey of building our own venture, Free Love. The day when me and my team, after hours of brainstorming, had decided that together we would become India's largest second-hand fashion e-commerce. Not knowing that just 6 months down the line, everything would take a complete U-turn. But of course, it's not the journey. It's the journey and not the destination. Fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests, today, join me as I travel back and unravel the course of events, the twists and turns, the highs and lows we encountered while working on our mission. All of us had transformed the walls of our hostel rooms into our daily planners, scribbling on them goals, daily tasks, and made sure that we didn't sleep until all the tasks of that day were checkboxed. We had planned to launch our website in 2 months, and the leaders of all the 4 verticals, marketing, tech, finance, and operations, were on it. Speaking about marketing, we had built a very strong network across all the fashion colleges in India, connecting with fashion enthusiasts on LinkedIn, Instagram, and word of mouth, and had some expert designers join us too. we had also managed to do some influencer marketing, giving away our designer tops for their followers. We posted heavily on how fast fashion is a big threat to the future and how many celebrities are also taking to thrifting. We designed a user persona who wore only thrifted clothes and portrayed her to be smarter than the rest because she spent less but had a better style. On the other side, Ayush, the CTO, was working tooth and nail on the website. He was coding everything from scratch because we wanted our website to be highly customized. Through the e-cell, we got connected to some of the seniors who helped debug the code and improve the design. Me and Preetham were on the lookout for thrift stores who would collaborate with us early on. After a lot of negotiations, one thrift store joined us. We knew we wouldn't get many in the starting, and so we had to make arrangements ourselves. Many of the seniors who would soon pass out gave us the clothes they wanted to sell off, and we stocked an inventory of around 100 clothes. We created a WhatsApp group of thrifting enthusiasts, made a very first brochure of the set of first 10 clothes from the thrift store who was on board with us, sent it out on the group, and with an early bird offer to pre-book the dresses prior to the launch with a 15% discount. And then we anticipated for the orders to come. 2 days passed, and the only messages that were coming in were, "Congratulations on your startup." Thank you, but this is not what we're looking for. A week passed, and then the message came, "Hey, those reels on your Instagram page, they're so fabulous." Thank you, but that's not again what we're looking for. Why doesn't someone want to buy from our very first collection? 2 weeks, no orders. Fine, let's test our logistics network. So I wrapped one of my costliest jeans, which I wouldn't wear any longer because they look too goofy on me. And I decided to send it to one of my friends in Bangalore. The order was picked up from my hostel, and after 3 days, I got a call. "Madam, your order has been received in the post office in XYZ Bangalore. Ask your customer to come here and collect it from us." What? Didn't you provide doorstep pickup and delivery? Complaint raised, not attended to. Finally, my friend had to go to the office 5 kilometers away to pick it up. And guess what? The jeans didn't even fit her. That's another story though. A lot of challenges like these came our way, but we didn't give up. After 6 long months of heavy lifting, the thrifting scenario gradually unfolded before us, and the light shone to reveal the secret, which unfortunately wasn't in our favor. Thrifting was a recent trend in India. The thrift stores didn't want to formalize the whole business because they didn't want any legalities and were themselves not sure if the trend of thrifting was here to stay or not. Moreover, the clothes they sold were not all secondhand, but some of them were factory rejects, which they got at a very cheap price from known dealers. The market was niche, fragmented, and highly price sensitive. And those with networks and a good fashion background were the bosses. And we, hailing from our tech background, without any investment, cracking this was like moving mountains. Was it impossible? Of course not. But were we ready to put in the time and the effort for don't know how many more years, not even being sure of the outcome? Maybe not. Our efforts did get us into the semi-finals of the Hult Prize 2023. It was a privilege to have been part of this international summit. We may not have emerged as a unicorn, but the learnings I gained from this experience of leading a team of 5 very enthusiastic individuals with high commitment and expertise in their field can't be explained in words. As we all raced from that final meeting, we bid each other goodbye. My final decision I had made as the leader of this group. I hope our paths cross in the future in our entrepreneurial journey. Thank you.
Your hands together for that wonderful speech. No matter if you don't reach the top, you have learnings to wherever you have reached. Thank you so much. That was our first speaker, which is being evaluated by Toastmaster Monica. Now let's move on to the second speech. I laugh out my heart when I hear rhymes from this first speaker. And the anniversary meeting that we had, we all have memories of it etched in with us because of this TMOD role by our second speaker, Toastmaster Karthik, attempting his level 1 project 3 from the path engaging humor, the project being vocal variety and body language. The speech is being evaluated by Toastmaster Sudharma Pereira. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using vocal variety or body language to enhance the speech. This 5 to 7 minute speech is being delivered by Toastmaster Venugopal. One question that changed my life. One question that changed my life. Toastmaster Venugopal.
I want to ask you a very simple question to you all. You have been seeing me from a quite long time. How does my personality or character look to you? Please raise hands if you think I'm an easygoing, fun-loving person. Okay. Please raise hand if you think I'm a very serious person. Okay, I don't see any hands. So most of you think that I'm a fun-loving person who makes up PJs, poor jokes, and tries to make people laugh with weird characters and stories I create. And many of you have asked me, how do I create such weird names? One of the recent characters I created are Karijit Singh and Lady Taylor Swift, who are great singers. And yesterday I created one more character, and that character is Thupesh, who is a Hututu player, a Kabaddi player. And today I'm going to reveal this secret of how I got this ability of creating such characters. But what if I say I was not the same person as you are seeing me today? I was going through one of the hardest phases of my life 5 years back. I was going through a depression due to my failures. During that phase, I had forgotten who was I. Most importantly, smile became extinct in my life. And I was turned into a very serious person. One fine day, I had been to a team lunch with my office colleagues. I still remember the date. It was Jan 14th, 2018, where we were sitting in a round table for lunch, and our senior most leader, my director, was making jokes. And everyone were laughing on his jokes, but except me. He saw me and asked, "Hey Karthik, are you on notice period?" I said, "No." "Then why are you not laughing at my jokes?" The next day, he called me to his chamber in office and asked me, "What's happening with you, Karthik? You seem to be lost." I told him about my problems. Then he told me, "Karthik, I want to see you happy. Do as I say. This is my order." And he asked me, "One question will change your life. I asked, please ask me that question, what will change? Ask me that question which will change my life. Then he told me to meet a person who will ask me this question and change my life. And this person whom I was supposed to meet was not in Bangalore. He was in Chikkamangaluru. Chikkamangaluru is a beautiful place, pleasant place in Karnataka. It's a hill station located towards the Western Ghats and is 250 kilometers away from Bangalore. I rushed to that place with my friends in car. When I reached this person's place, it was an amazing place. It was like a mini resort. There were around 25 people staying together and some were meditating. I asked one of the staff members there, I want to meet a person who will ask me that one question which will change my life. Then staff showed me, he is there, he will change your life. He is sitting there. When I saw him, he was meditating. I will not reveal his name, but you can ask me for his details after the meeting. As of now, let's call him Baba Raju Ismail Jacob Martha, a democratic name, a single name. I went to him and asked him, please ask me that one question which will change my life. He told me that I have to rigorously meditate for 3 days. And on the end of 3rd day, he will ask me that question. At first, I felt irritated because I was not in a state of mind to meditate for 3 days. But my friends convinced me to meditate. And on the end of 3rd day, Baba Raju Ismail Jacob Martha came to me and told, you will be asked that one question tonight. I slept in that resort, mini resort. You will not believe my friends, but trust me, in my dream, I was sitting alone on the peaks of Baba Budangiri Hills, which is near to Chikkamangaluru. Then suddenly from sky, I could see an explosion of bright light as bright as star Venus in my dream. I could see an angel coming down from the sky and she stood in front of me with her wings on her back. I asked, who are you? She said, I am Angel Angelina from San Francisco. She asked me, what do you want? I told her, I want to be happy in my life. I want to change my character. I want to change my personality. Then she said, I will ask you that question. And I asked, is this the same question which will change my life? She said, yes. I begged her, please, Angel Angelina, ask me that one question which will change my life. She said, yes. And she asked me that question, Karthik, why Upma is called as Upma? I was stunned by listening to this mind-boggling question. Because since my childhood, I was having Upma prepared by my mother, and didn't know why it is called as Upma. It's a dish made in India for breakfast. I took time and something flashed my mind. I gave her the answer. Upma is called as Upma because it cannot be called as Updad. Then Angel Angelina said, it's the right answer, Karthik. I now grant you wish. Tathastu. I will now change your character, your personality from being very serious to funny. And you will now have the ability to create imaginary characters of your own. And my fellow Toastmasters, this is how I got the ability of creating such characters. Well, by now, you all might have guessed that it's a made-up story. Yes, you are right. And I know that I have still not answered to your question on how I create such characters and stories. The answer is simple. It comes naturally to me because I have grown watching n number of movies, characters in it, listening to stories from history, watching all comedy shows, and even my friends are hilarious friends, which has made my mind factory of producing such characters and stories. And that is why I always say our character, our identity is not based on religion, gender, caste, or creed. Our character, our identity is shaped from the environment we are grown, the experiences and situations we have been through. But you all know one of the greatest gift of being a human is you can master any skill you want to apart from what comes naturally to you. You just need to have a strong burning desire inside you to learn it. So Toastmasters and guests, first find your strength, your style, and then starting learning other styles with a strong burning desire. But before concluding my speech, I want to ask you all that one question which will change your life. And that is, why Vada is called as Vada? Please answer me through chat. Over to you, TMOD.
Why vada is called vada is that one question I'll ponder about Toastmaster Karthik. Thank you for letting me know why upma is called as upma. Give him a big round of applause for our second speaker. Imagine if your dish has little less of salt or chilies or even less of sugar in a sweet. How would you feel? Every little things matter. And our third speaker is conscious of all these things as she loves cooking. She works in an IT firm and also likes to travel, similar to me. Toastmaster Bimpy Kumari is attempting her second speech of L1P4 from Presentation Mastery, which is being evaluated by Toastmaster Smruti. The purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, apply the feedback in the second speech that she is attempting today. The purpose of the speech is for her to demonstrate that she has applied the feedback received from her previous speech. Duration of this speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Bimpy, planned, unplanned trip. Planned, unplanned trip, Toastmaster Bimpy.
I remember one quote: joy fills your pocket and adventurous fills your soul. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and dear guest. How many of you been a unplanned trip? I can see many hands are raised. Even I planned for one unplanned trip. In this trip, I had two friends along with me. One is trip planner, another one is complaint box. Someone suggested for a place, Adiyogi, the largest and biggest Lord Shiva statue over there, and then followed by Kunur, a vibrant and beautiful place. We started our journey. We went to Adiyogi. We visited over there, roamed there, did some meditation, and came out from that place around 4 o'clock, around 4 afternoon, existed from that place. And we started booking for online cabs and auto. But what we realized that the facility for online cabs over there is really minimal. It was really minimal because that place was really far from city Kunur. There were no luck for online cabs over there. Then somehow we saw one advertisement for Red Taxi and we got that contact number and we contacted them for the next destination of our trip, that was Kunur. Then we called them and then we came to know that price was really touching the sky. We declined that as well, that option as well. We were really tired since morning we were there and it was almost 5 p.m. evening. We saw some restaurant nearby. We walked there and then sat for relaxation. Then somehow my trip planner friend got an idea. She told, why we can't just call our homestay owner where we have booked our homestay. Just contact them. So I have started texting him and then asked if he can arrange some cab to pick us to Kunur. Then he said, okay, he can do it. And then he shared the cab details and the driver details as well. Then we waited for half an hour there. It was almost 6:30. We were really starving. We had something from that restaurant and we could see that place was really dark and deserted. After half an hour, we can see the complaint box face. She was really furious and little bit frustrated as well. Then I got a call from that guy, that the owner of the homestay. And then my complaint box friend asked for hand over the phone to me. I will talk with him. Then that complaint box friend started talking with him in a very frustrated way, and she was telling, "Sir, I'm waiting for so long. Where are you?" Then that guy was really frustrated and he said, "I don't want to talk with Bimpy." I was like, "No, no, that was not me, which you have talked, with whom you have talked." And then she hand over the phone to my trip planner friend, because he was knowing that that friend of mine, she has booked the homestay in Kunur. And my trip planner friend somehow managed, and he convinced to send a cab, and he asked for the some advance from us. We shared that. Then after waiting for some longer time, around like half an hour, finally the cab arrived, and we three of us boarded the cab and started our journey towards Kunur, that vibrant Kunur. So, Toastmaster, what I learned from this unplanned plan trip, that there should be always one alternative ways of commuting. In my case, it was we thought that we would get some alternative cabs or auto, but that wasn't the case. And also, whenever you're planning for unplanned trip, always ready to take a risk. Otherwise, what max will happen? It will be counted as a adventurous, adventure, adventurous trip and a story to tell, as I did. Over to you, TMOD of the day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Unplanned trips are always adventurous. I agree. Thank you so much for narrating that story. Give her a big round of applause. Now I request the timer to let me know if all the three speakers were within the time.
There
Toastmaster.
were two. Yes, Toastmaster Nagesh. Only two speakers are qualified, that are Toastmaster Karthik and Toastmaster Bimpy.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. With that, we'll soon launch the polls. There they are. While you are voting, we'll take quick 5 minutes break and we'll come back. Stay tuned.
We'll come back at 8:23.
Yes, at your watches, 8:23.
Yes.
Welcome back. Toastmasters, please come on camera. Let me know you have come back as we start the second part of this meeting. Whenever I used to meet my father, he gets ecstatic and starts talking immediately, giving me an account of all that he did since my last visit to him. When I met my father a couple of days back, I showed him old photographs, few of them black and white, where he was in his cricket attire, a group picture when they won the Ranji Trophy. Photographs had he playing lawn tennis and he driving his bullet. The joy I saw on his face is something that was beyond words. I can't express. I was joyful seeing him enjoy, not just father. When we see when we see a smiling toddler or an elderly, someone whom you have helped, a couple who is happy, a patient who is about to be discharged, a fruit vendor who is counting his or her day earnings, a small child playing with new toy. The joy that you get when your phone rings indicating that your salary has been credited or a client has paid you, a mail of approval of the path from your VP education are small treasures, those little things that we record in our memories. Fill your memories with these little joys that will often come to rescue when you are low, when we need support, and when we are lonely. Now let's move on to the second section of this meeting. College fests. You all remember your college fests? They are the biggest source of creating memories with little happiness, joy, and accomplishments. Our next speaker, who is going to be taking the stage and giving us table topics, is a frequent participant in college fests, and she is working on her degree in political science and economics. As table topic master today, she might give you some little more confidence to speak with her topics. With that, I request Toastmaster Devayani to step forward as table topic master. Over to you.
Thank you very much, TMOD of the day, Toastmaster Nagesh. Now this theme, little things, I think it resonates with me so much, and I'm assuming all of us too, as Toastmaster Nagesh said, the smiles people give you, the warmth of the cup of a tea in the during a chilly morning, and especially Bangalore's chilly mornings are another level. The unexpected smile again from a stranger, the cherished photo that holds so many memories. It's all about finding beauty, joy, and meaning in details that often slip through the cracks of our busy lives, right? So today, we embark on a journey to explore that, and I want you to think of these small yet powerful elements that make life truly extraordinary. So today I have some topics along that line. I'll be starting with Toastmaster Diana. For her, I'll put the topic on chat. Toastmaster Diana, what are the little things in life that make you happy? What are the little things in life that make you happy? Toastmaster Diana would be putting down her speech in the chat box. And I'd request Toastmaster Nagesh to read it out at the end of the table topics. Thank you. Now, does anyone else like to volunteer? Otherwise, I'll just pick out people. Okay, Toastmaster Priyanka, I see your hand raised up. Toastmaster Priyanka?
Yes.
Hello. So, your table topic is, what little thing do you miss about childhood? What little thing do you miss about childhood? Toastmaster Priyanka.
The little thing that I really miss during my childhood is the summer camp. That was something that I used to be very, very excited. So I had a couple of friends during my summer holidays who used to come from Hyderabad. And we were very, very thick of friends. And every time they used to come to Bangalore, we used to have a ball of a time. And even though we used to go to summer camps, those summer camps were fun. And we got ourselves enrolled into name the possible activities. It was from painting to learning Veena to learning art and craft. And the best part was all the summer camps were at Cubbon Park. So it used to be a great fun, and it used to start from morning 9 a.m. to afternoon 12 p.m. So we used to have a great time, and that was the best time I felt during my childhood that I spent. And that's the time I got now was very good at painting. And that is when I got into painting and I drew. But then they say, as you get caught up with time, with studies, because at my place, studies are given more priority, the painting, everything just got faded away from me. And I just wish that I could relive that moment and get back into drawing and painting and probably revoke that creativity which I had then, which now I feel is completely faded. That is something that small little thing that I remember, and I really wish I could get back to that day. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Priyanka. Now, that took me to my childhood too, which is just like a couple of years ago. But still, both my parents were working. So because of that, I ended up spending so much time in summer camps. And I could totally resonate with every emotion you just went through. So thank you for sharing that with us. Toastmaster Meeta, you've raised your hand. Would you like to go next?
Yes.
Could we have your video?
No, that's not because if I'll start a video, audio will not come.
Okay,
I'm
wait,
on mobile phone.
Okay. Your topic is what small habits or routine brings you immense joy and satisfaction? What small habits or routine brings you immense joy and satisfaction? Toastmaster Meeta.
Happy evening. Yes, they are the small habits which makes us very happy. That is speaking to small kids and making them to smile. And small like habits every day morning we'll get up and do prayer, meditation. And that makes us like from small childhood we had a habit of meditation, going to prayer and do everyday morning routines. So that still we are continued. And the next was like talking to like elder peoples, and we are like taking their blessings. Morning we'll get up and that still we are following that same, like any elder comes we have to follow, like bow their thing and take the blessing from elders. So that helped a lot of things, and what small thing it was, but that makes us very happy. And later on, like not to leave anything like food spilling or that small habits, it was like cultivated from the thing, and do not waste the food. So that was the first thing we learned from the beginning, and still today I feel that yes, we should not leave. So that small thing made me very happy, that small routines I cultivated, and that made me today also to feel like yes, I guide my students also in the school, like same thing what I have learned, and I got it from my parents and my teachers. And the small things made me happy, and I feel proud of that. Yes, continuing with that. So back to the table topic master. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that with us, Toastmaster Meeta. Talking about the elders suddenly reminded me of my grandmom. And whenever I go back to my native, she would wake up at 4 a.m. at the crack of dawn, and her group of 5 friends, all of them would just walk to the temple every day. And just seeing that, it's such a small thing for them, but like seeing them together, being so happy at 4 a.m. It makes me happy too. So thank you for sharing that with us. Toastmaster Monica, I see that you've raised your hand. But
Yes.
before you can go, can I ask Toastmaster Punith to volunteer?
Yes, Devashish.
Toastmaster Punith,
Yes.
tell us about an act of kindness someone did for you that made a difference in your day. Tell us about an act of kindness someone did for you that made a difference in your day. Toastmaster Punith.
Okay. I want to share this incident with you all. and it has not only changed the day, and it has changed my entire life itself. And it was the day of 3 months back. Okay, I was going for an evaluation contest. I was not ready, and one of my mentor, they asked me to go for an evaluation contest. I went there. Okay, I registered my name for an evaluation contest, and after that the things get started. Okay, I have to practice. I'm representing a club, so at the area level I have to do the practice, but I don't know not to do. If I go on my own way, and is I have a less time, and I can't give a um, um, yeah, I can't give a justification to the what I'm doing. So I thought of asking the people. Until that time I didn't know the people in Toastmasters helps me a lot. During the time I called my mentor, and that was the time he said these words. Yeah, he said, he gave a lot of guidelines, and one guidelines that stick to my mind till today is, he asked me, what is your intent while you are giving an evaluations. I told the evaluation kind of what it would be, just for the winning, and we have to impress the people, so that way we will win, and we will, that is the intention. He told it is wrong. Your intent always should be, ask yourself, your intent is to help others, and with that intent you have to do the evaluation. And that was the thought that stuck my mind till today. And whatever the activity I do, this is how I think about what is the impact I'm going to create for this person, and what is the help I'm going to do. Yeah, this is the thought in my mind, and that thought has changed my life. Thank you, and over to you, Topic Master.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Toastmaster Punith. I have no iota of doubt about how the entire Toastmasters fraternity and the mentors really back you up no matter what. And I love that for you and love that for us. Would Toastmaster Akshita like to go next? Toastmaster Akshita?
Sure. Yeah, sure, Devayani. I would like to give a try. Sorry, I will not be able to come on here.
No issues. Toastmaster Akshita, what advice would you give mini you? What advice would you give mini you, Toastmaster Akshita?
Sorry, I didn't get you. What advice would you give for?
What advice would you give for your younger self?
Okay, thank you for giving me this topic. Yeah, good evening. So, thinking about my childhood, so growing up, I was a very, used to mingle with other kids and have fun, and that kind of kid I was. And as I grew, I actually went more serious in life and concentrating on my studies and stuff like that. So I one advice which I would like to give to my younger selves, to express yourself more, and to not to take so much of stress in life, and fun. This is all I wanted to give advice to my younger self. As well as I don't have regrets particularly, but the advice I would definitely like to give it to myself, because as I grew, I have realized so many things which I missed, and there were so many opportunities that I have missed. And for that, this is the advice which I would really give it for myself. Thank you so much for this. To you too.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Toastmaster Akshita. And yeah, like I'm so glad that you said that you live a life without regrets. I aspire to be like that one day too. So thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, so Toastmaster Sudharma, you raised your hand. Before that, would Toastmaster Monica like to go, since she raised it a little bit before you? You can go next, Toastmaster Sudharma.
Sure.
Okay, so Toastmaster Monica, if you had to create a bucket list of small accomplishments and achievements, what would go on it? If you had to create a bucket list of small accomplishments and achievements, what would go on it? Toastmaster Monica.
A very good evening to all the fellow Toastmasters. If I had to prepare a small bucket list, then the first thing that I would put on that bucket list would contain of all my passions and the aspirations that I would want to achieve in my life. Number one, I would say that I would want to explore everything in my life, right from traveling, reading, writing, gardening, cooking, everything. You might not want to be an expert in every field, but you might want to explore everything. So the first objective in that bucket list would be exploration. Explore everything and then decide whether you're made for it or not, and whether you want to follow it in your entire life or not. So I would say that my bucket list would consist of exploring my passions. And the second one is something that I would, it's more abstract in nature, but I would suggest that respect for your elders, inculcate good qualities in yourself as a personality. So respect for elders, respect for your loved ones is something that I would mark as a check on that bucket list. So these are the two things, though they are very abstract in nature and not quantitative, more qualitative, but I would suggest that bringing a transformation in your personality with respect to exploring your hobbies and with respect to inculcating qualities within yourself is something that I would want to achieve. So thank you. Thank you. Back to you, TTM.
Thank you. That was such a wonderful take on it. And I absolutely love the line, you might not want to be an expert in it, but at least explore it. That's something I'm going to take back with me today. And thank you for that. Toastmaster Sudharma, would you like to go next?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Toastmaster Sudharma. So your topic is, tell us about a tiny ingredient in life that makes a lot of difference. Tell us about a tiny ingredient in life that makes a lot of difference. Toastmaster Sudharma.
Can I get the topic in chat box?
Yeah, just a minute. I'll just type it.
In life, sometimes a lot of things I enjoy in everyday life. It can.
Sudharma, wait. So I think.
I'm so sorry, Toastmaster Karthik. Could you just send that on the good chat?
Okay. No. Yeah, I think you repeated the question.
Yeah.
You pasted the question which was asked before.
Yeah. I sent that to you. I'm so sorry for the mix-up. Just a minute.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. I'll send you that.
Yeah.
I'll send everyone. So Sudharma, here is the topic for you. I'm just pasting it on chat. Timer, please note. Yeah, here it is.
The tiny ingredient of life that makes the difference is, I think, self-discipline. In my day-to-day life, I experience it in every situations. From my childhood to this moment, I think in my childhood, I may not have that self-discipline because I was very hot-tempered person and all. But up to this point, in my 34th year, I experienced that self-discipline is the tiny ingredient of life that can make difference. Because when I am going to my first job, my brother advised me, go to office little bit early. If it is 8, go 7:30 and be ready to job. Then only you can focus in your job. Then that time I didn't have any idea about why I should go to office, but I listened to his advice and I realized it is very much helpful to be on focus in my office life, in my day-to-day life.
I have good memory. I experience it because of that discipline. From my brother advice, I got it. That is the teeny ingredient in my life. In every time I am going on time, and I like to do on time. Every work can be on time. This is my small teeny thing, but I think it made me very much focus on my work. Over to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that was great advice that your brother gave you, and I take up on that too. So thank you for sharing that. Toastmaster Ishu, would you like to go next? Am I pronouncing your name rightly?
Yeah. Thankfully.
So, Toastmaster Ishu, you're ready to go next, right?
Yeah. Please.
Your topic is, why do you think people find beauty in small things such as sunsets or beaches? Why do you think people find beauty in small things such as sunsets or beaches? Toastmaster.
Toastmaster Devayani. I think, being a nature person myself, it's difficult to get that shot of dopamine or happiness because big things don't happen every day. It's only the small things that keep on repeating themselves, like the blossoming of flowers in the morning. And you sit with that cup of tea in your hand outside and just take some joy in looking at the fresh leaves. I think that is something that completes your day. I'll give you an example. I was just bringing my son back from tennis. These days, he likes to pretend to be a car, and I am the tow truck, and I have to drag him back because apparently his battery is empty. So at that point of time, when we are having a conversation, I just looked at all the different leaves. We were in a big park, all the different leaves with the different colors in them. And that is when we started talking about it. And he asked me to touch each and every leaf that is there, trying to judge their shape or how soft it is or how glossy it is. So it is only the little things that are going to make you happy at the end of the day. You are not going to win a World Cup every day. You are not going to win a match every day. So you have to decide to keep yourself focused on appreciating the little things around you, because you are not going to get those huge achievements in one day. They are going to take some time to come to you. So are you going to stay sad the entire time? Oh my God, I haven't been through that interview, or I haven't achieved that big thing. The idea is to step back and reflect on what you have right now. Live in the moment, be present, and be happy about it. What do you think, those table topics master?
Thank you. I think exactly the same. It is being present and appreciating the small things. Especially I love it when my mom comes into my room suddenly and gives me cut pieces of fruit. It makes me so happy for some reason. Such a small thing from her side, but it's such a big act, right? Finally, DTM Nagesh, would you able to read out Toastmaster Diana's speech?
Yes, please. I can.
And could the Zoom master please spotlight Diana?
Okay, 1 minute. The topic given was, what are the little things in life that makes you happy? And Toastmaster Diana says, thank you, Toastmaster Madam. Iota, my little things, my little life, our disability make that happy inside. Iota Toastmasters Club with my speech are powerful. If improvement as lots practice, so hard Iota chat box. The audience on the Zoom meeting, Iota, I also feel so proud inside that meeting, and I know this to the speaker, Iota. Thank you, Diana. Diana, thank you so much for this table topic attempt, and back to you, table topic master.
Thank you so much for that, Diana. And she truly summed it up that Toastmasters is one of the small things that makes all of us happy in this fraternity. And that was such a lovely take on the topic. And that's it from me today. Over to the TMOD of the day.
Thank you so much. Give a big, huge round of applause to our table topic master, Toastmaster Devayani. Toastmasters, I gathered so many small things from the table topic sessions today. The cold water bath in the summer, cycling early morning when no one on the road, watching the drizzle from my study window, the train travel, talking to my schoolmates, eating that last grain from my plate, seeing my mentee do well in Toastmasters, peeping into my bucket list and seeing very few things at the bottom. When I learned cooking, I was taught an important lesson. A tiny ingredient is so essential that it makes or breaks the taste of the food. The salt. Those of you know who cooking will recollect that for some dishes, salt is added in the beginning. For some, it is when the dish is half done. And for a few, salt is added when the cooking is just getting over. This small ingredient and the understanding of its usage is so very important to relish the dish. If you have to relish your life, be cheerful and blissed out. Look around at the little things that we have spoken today in the Toastmasters meeting that makes a lot of difference to you, to your loved ones. Work on these small little things that make a life complete. Drop by drop, brick by brick we build. As it is said, Rome was not built in a day. Without bits, you will not have a terabyte, isn't it? With that note, I hand over the stage to our general evaluator, who will take us through the various evaluation sessions that we are going to have and learn from it. DTM Nancy Goel, take it away from here.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, DTM Nagesh. Before I proceed on with the general evaluation report, may I request the timer to share any disqualifications we have for TT speeches so that we can launch the polls for TT?
Sure, Toastmaster Nancy. Everyone is qualified. The only thing is distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh took 38 seconds while reading Diana's speech. So
That's
others, thank you.
Thank you. Launching the poll for TT speakers. In the meanwhile, let's move on with the general evaluation section. For the general evaluations report, I will be sharing my report. But before I go on with my report, I would like to first call upon the evaluators for respective speakers, moving on with the Taggle team's report, and then followed by my own observations that I had during the entire course of the meeting. Let me first call upon our first speakers, Sanjana Garai's evaluator, Toastmaster Monica Ashwin. Toastmaster Monica, please come up on stage to evaluate Toastmaster Sanjana. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nancy. Can I have Toastmaster Sanjana on the spotlight?
She is not available. She said she will see the recording.
Okay, no problem. So Toastmaster Sanjana, thank you for delivering such a brilliant speech. I don't have an iota of doubt that you will excel as a speaker in future. So I'll talk about the positives of the speech first. Number one, the speech had a lot of clarity. It was spoken with utmost confidence and it was very lucid in nature. It was easy for me and the entire audience to understand. The second point, it was full of expressions, it was energetic in nature, and it had a lot of voice modulation, had a lot of vocal variety. And when you spoke about your Insta page, those expressions were very powerful. Number three, the objective of your speech is to talk about your experience while exploring this project. Your experience was wholesome, it was collaborative, and it was very unique. I applaud you for that. Let's come back to the improvement areas that I would suggest. Number one, the objective of your speech is to talk about the goals and the plan of your project. I was a bit obfuscated about what the plan and what the intention of the project was. Was the intention of the project to become the #1 unicorn in the international competition that you spoke about? Was it to maximize sales? Was it to maximize revenue or profit? So I was a bit confused about that. You could have brought in a bit of brevity in the intention of your project, and that could have made things clearer. In the end, I would suggest that your speech was very explanatory in nature. You spoke about the hurdles, you talk about the team activities, CTO, e-cell, WhatsApp group, influencer marketing, you spoke about dealers, pricing, whatnot. So it was so explanatory in nature, and I thank you for delivering such a wonderful speech and inspiring all of us. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster. Nancy.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Monica, for your evaluation for Toastmaster Sanjana. My 2 cents for the speaker here first. Toastmaster Sanjana, on top of what Toastmaster Monica has already mentioned, I loved your usage of stage, the way you were moving back, front, left, right. I think you have mastered the usage of virtual stage. This is something that most of us struggle with. We don't understand up till what part do we need to show and how to place the camera. You just utilized it amazingly. Now, second thing that I felt about your speech was you had body language, but that was a dramatized version of body language. That was working very well for your speech. The way you were trying to showcase a project to all of us, yes, it worked wonders. Now, one thing that we haven't covered in the evaluation that I felt must have been covered was overpowering some of the words. For example, 5 very enthusiastic individuals. I think the word enthusiastic in itself is powerful. If you say 5 enthusiastic individuals, that is delivering that the individuals are enthusiastic on their own. You don't need to add power to your voice to show power of the word. You need to understand the balance between power of word as well as power of voice. How you can balance both in a way that you are commanding power in your speech. That's the only thing that I felt could have been improved. Now coming to Toastmaster Monica's evaluation. Toastmaster Monica, you delivered an evaluation where you were uplifting the speaker by talking about some positive points and then moving on to areas of improvements and then talking about another powerful point about the speaker. One thing I couldn't find clarity in the evaluation is, first, we are saying that the speaker was clear in the entire structure. Then we are saying it could have been brief because some of the parts were not clear. And then the third point that you mentioned was, again, it was explanatory. I would suggest that you can always break down your evaluation in 2 parts. One is content and one is delivery, where you're talking about content and delivery aspect of it too. That's where I felt it was more about content and little less clarity on whether the speaker needs to include something or exclude something. So this is something we can always work upon when it comes to evaluation. Let's move on to our second speaker and second evaluator. Our second speaker was Toastmaster Karthik V, and he will be evaluated by Toastmaster Sudharma Pereira. Toastmaster Sudharma, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. First of all, I would like to congratulate Toastmaster Karthik for completing level 1, project 3, Introduction to Vocal Variety and Body Language. Then I will give you 4 points, what I noticed in your speech as positive points, and 2 points you can improve, and 1 challenge. First one, I noticed Toastmaster Karthik started the speech with question, am I a fun-loving person or serious person? Yeah, you got the attraction of the audience. I love it. And vocal variety, as per your project objectives, vocal variety. You use vocal variety in saying your depression level as well as amazing place. I noticed it. It is second point. Third point, body language. When you say angels has wings, you use body languages. It is great. And when you say he is there, you use body language. The third one is that. In third point, I noticed humorous in speech also. That one. And you gave us some messages. What is the things developed our character, the environment, and as well as experience. And you gave message we should have the burning desire. Those are the 4 points. When it comes to the improvements, in your dialogue with your boss, I noticed that there are some lack of voice variations. Like you could have included some voice variation like dialogue. I expected it. I didn't see it. Then that is the first improvement. Then second improvement, I noticed some eye contact was broken. That means you saw somewhere there in 3-2 times. I noticed it. These are the 2 improvements and challenge. When it comes to the suggestion, I suggest you to include some pauses in your speech. Like it's a great speech actually. I enjoyed it. Like all your speeches, I felt if you included some pauses like dramatic level, it could have been. I have no iota that it could have similar to world champion level speech. That's why I experience your speeches. That's why I'm telling. As a summary, I will tell 4 points. It's hand gestures and vocal variety, body language we use very much enthusiastically, and closing also question. And 2 improvements was eye contact and voice modulation, and challenges use pauses and some dramatic level. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sudharma. I'll first talk about the evaluator herself. Toastmaster Sudharma, in your evaluation speech, I must say you are already preparing for the contest where you had commendations, recommendations, and summary as part of your evaluation speech. On top of that, you were very clear. I'll give you 2 pointers which are more of commendation and 1 area of recommendation, though you kept on going and shared a couple more, but this is how you started, and that's how you build the pace. Before that, you mentioned that how the speaker met the project objectives. That's another 1 good point for your evaluation speech, where the speaker is now clear whether the speaker met the project objectives or not, and he or she is already aware that yes, these are the things that he or she needs to focus on moving forward. So clarity in evaluation speech was amazing. Now coming to some part of it where you were talking about vocal variety as well as body language. When you say that your vocal variety was appropriate, vocal variety is a huge domain, if I must say. When we talk about vocal variety, we have pitch, pauses, pace, and periods that we use. Now, when you're commenting and recommending using the same word as vocal variety, doesn't make sense. Instead, you can say the pauses were great. Probably the pitch variation could have been there with the dialogues. Or the pitch was great because when you talked about depression, your pitch was low, and that's where we could feel it. And volume could have been higher in certain areas. So that's how you distinguish between certain points when it comes to vocal variety. And when you're talking about body language, you can always say hand gestures, you can say facial expressions, micro expressions, and a couple of other things when it comes to overall body language. So this is how you differentiate for a project specifically like this. But all in all, you talked about a couple of recommendations and couple of commendations for speaker to be very clear, followed by summary where the speaker was already knowing that this is what you have talked about in the entire part. So re-emphasizing the facts there. Now coming to the speaker himself, I'll just add my 2 cents there. Since it was a project of body language, I would say Toastmaster Karthik, there was subconscious movements here and there. So when you are speaking like this to me, and I was feeling a bit distracted on how to go about it. Even if you had some conscious body language where you're talking about a couple of pointers, where you're talking about one character and then the other character, your hand gestures particularly were appropriate, but overall body was moving just like this here and there. This is more of a subconscious movement, which I felt you could have curbed a little. And second thing I would talk about is your conclusion. You had a powerful conclusion where you told us that you haven't told us the conclusion itself. If you would have left the speech then and there that, okay, the audience can figure it out whether you have mentioned how you learned it all, the names and other things, I think that was a powerful conclusion. But then that was followed by another conclusion, and then followed by another conclusion, and then another conclusion. And I was just wondering, are we listening to conclude here? And finally, cherry on the cake was, you said, to conclude, I will say, this is the message. And I was wondering, then what was that? What was I hearing to? So ensure that when you have a captivating opening, as Toastmaster Sudharma pointed, keep one captivating conclusion. That will help you connect with your audience even further, leaving that silly that you always aspire. With this, I'll move on to my next speaker and evaluator. Speaker number 3, Toastmaster Bimpy Kumari. She'll be evaluated by Toastmasters Smruti Sagrika Mohanty. Toastmaster Smruti, over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Can we have Bimpy spotlighted? Okay, I can see her. Timer, you can start the time now. Toastmaster Bimpy, thank you so much for sharing that snippet of your travel tour with us. Since it's the second part of your evaluation and feedback, so we will primarily focus on the feedback which was given by the previous evaluator. The 3 parameters which were highlighted was hand gesture, facial expression with emotion, and vocal variety. Without an iota of doubt, the hand gestures was pretty evident in your entire speech. You used the hand gesture to show time, to show people, and all the captivating things ensured that the same has been used very beautifully. You started your speech with a quotation, "Jobs fill your pocket, but adventure fill your soul" by Jamie Lin. It was very simple, which captured the adventure part, the fulfillment, the soul part, and the travel part. You kept it simple, you caught the attention. The things which I really liked about the speech, one was you named your friends into 2 buckets. One was a trip planner, and second was a complaint box. As an audience, that was relatable to us because, okay, I know we have that person in our trip. So you captured the audience attention there itself. It was really great over there. Certain things which, in addition to what your previous evaluator suggested, was expression with a bit of emotion. So that's come to the improvement part. The instances where you said, "My friend was furious and frustrated." The terminology and the way you delivered, there was a disbalance on the same. But how you can present it better by saying, "My friend was furious and frustrated." Second, an example when you said, "We waited for half an hour." It felt as if you were okay to wait, but in your story, we felt you were not okay to wait. So again, the same can be elevated by adding that expression into place. So you can say that by adding a bit version to it, that we waited for half an hour. That gives a lot of weightage to how you feel about it. Second thing, which if you add can elevate your speech, though you have a content in place, but I felt the usage of then, maybe like many a times. You said, "Then we waited, then we booked a cab, then he came." What you can do, you can use better transition word or even a better synonym for then. You can say, "Afterward, this happened. Then after, this happened. Thereafter, this happened." Or henceforth, subsequently. These are a couple of terminology which can be used. So once your speech is completely done at your end, you can see what all jargons can be used or what all replacement transition words can be used. Overall, you used your hand gesture, made a good delivery. Yes, the expression part and emotion part can be worked upon a bit, but you have met the purpose of your speech, and congratulations to you. Looking forward for many more speeches coming from you. Thank you so much. Back to General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Smruti. Talking about the evaluator here, Smruti, your evaluation was quite clinical. For a project like this, where you have the second speech for L1P4, you need to mention these are the couple of points which were mentioned in the first speech as evaluation points. And then you talked about how the speaker has improved on those points. And you actually drove clarity with those points. So a job well done. Talking about project objectives, yes, you talked about project objectives, whether those have been met or not, clearly met. And then the third thing that you mentioned were the area of improvements, followed by suggestion, how it can be improved. That's very important when it comes to evaluation. You have included that as well. Now, a suggestion point for you, Toastmasters Smruti, if you're looking at contest, there is a subsequent amount of weightage given to summary. This is what I felt was missing. You could have summarized your points in 1, 2, 3 were the recommendations, 1, 2, 3 were the commendations, and this is what emphasizes more on what you have talked in the entire part. 30 seconds or 15 seconds for the summary for speaker to note down all the points, as well as for you to gain some weightage during the contest. That might help you during the contest. Now, talking about the speaker, Toastmaster Bimpy, I think you're very clear with the evaluation given by Toastmaster Smruti here. 1 point of evaluation from my end. You started off with an opening with a question to the audience, and then the question was left hanging. Why? I'll tell you. When you said how many of you have gone for planned trips or maybe unplanned trips, something like this, and everyone raised their hands. People who raised their hands, you accumulated the responses. You said, oh, many of you. But then what to do with many of these responses? What is it that you are trying to gauge, or how are you utilizing that question or the response to that question in your speech? I didn't get that part. So whenever it's a question like this, you can probably, these questions are primarily used to understand how the audience is placed, whether your audience knows planned trips or unplanned trips. So if I were you, I would have interacted with the audience by using these questions. Okay, how many of you have gone on planned trips? Couple of you. Now let me ask my next question. How many of you have gone on unplanned trips? Many of us. Now let me tell you one story where there was a planned unplanned trip. Did you go on a planned unplanned trip? I doubt no one, but I did. Let me share my story. So that way you are building the suspense for the audience. What is a planned unplanned trip? And your opening becomes more captivating. That's my 2 cents on your speech. Overall, you did a wonderful job as a speaker. I am looking forward to your level 1 completion. All the best. Thank you so much. These are my 2 cents on evaluation and speeches that we had, prepared speeches. Moving on with the Taggle team report. Yes, Deanna, we will be evaluating you towards the end of journal evaluation section when we reach TT section. Let me call upon our timer. Toastmaster Maanvi, your report.
Thank you so much, Journal Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests present here. I have shared the detailed report in the chat box, and I'm very happy today. Our timer is actually very happy that we are going on time, and there was only one disqualification. Otherwise, every single role player was on time. So that was all from my side. For the detailed report, you can refer to the picture I have shared in the chat box. Thank you so much. Over to the Journal Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Maanvi. As I see, there is no disqualification in the evaluation section. I'll launch the evaluators poll right now. Looks like it's been already launched. Do I get a thumbs up if it's already been launched? No?
It's not launched.
It's showing to me that it's launched. I cannot launch it.
Okay, I think we can take it later.
Okay, looks like it's a technical glitch. Toastmaster Karthik, can you take a look at this technical glitch from the back end? In the meanwhile, I'll move on with our counter's report. Calling upon our counter, Toastmaster Gihan. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I already shared the report on chat box since that sharing option is disabled. So
Sharing
kudos
option
to
is
Toastmaster
now
Pranav.
enabled. Toastmaster Gihan, sharing option is now enabled in case you want to share your screen as well.
I think everyone can see now.
Yes.
Kudos to Toastmaster Pranav, Toastmaster Neha, Toastmaster Sanjana, and Toastmaster Monica. Since I couldn't catch up anything regarding this report, and over to Toastmaster DTM Nancy, generally with it.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gihan, for being vigilant about us on CRPFs, whatever you could capture. This gives us some clarity. Thank you so much. Moving on to the grammarian part today, Toastmaster Punith.
Thank you, Nancy. Just a second. Yeah. Can I get a screen share access? Okay, I got it. Yeah, the word of the day is iota, and it has been used by 5 people. Toastmaster Diana, Toastmaster Devayani, Toastmaster Monica, Toastmaster Sudharma, and Toastmaster Smruti. Then there are a lot of good usage of words. Okay, I catch these few words. Piece of news, profound, daunting, early bird offer, laugh out, seem to be lost, rigorously, strobing, cherish photo, ball of a time, faded away, relive that moment, crack of dawn, relish, snippet, jobs fill your pocket, trip, jobs fill your pocket, trip fill your soul, jargon, quite clinical, question left hanging. Then there are some rhetorical questions. What have they locked? What have they cooked? Why not practice today and be on time? Are you going to be sad entire day? Yeah, these are all rhetorical questions. Then anaphora, I want to be happy. I want to change my life. Then proverb, yeah, it is a journey and not a destination. Hypophora, did you go unplanned trip? No. Then there are some few metaphors. Those are nice. Market is niche. Chikmagaluru is like a mini resort. The mind is like factory of stories. The complaint box friend. The pre-planner friend. These are good usages. These are metaphors. Then regarding recommendations, I felt all of you met expectations. I couldn't find any the improvement. You are all good. Thank you. Over to you, Nancy.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Punith, for sharing such a detailed grammarian report. One catch I have for grammarian here, there was a repetitive usage of small little things. Little word in itself is talking about those little things. So you don't need to say small little things. It's just repetitive. That's what we can avoid, not by Toastmaster Punith, but a few of the members from the meeting today. Apart from that, that was quite a detailed and clinical report we had from Grammarian. We learned a couple of things about rhetorical devices, at least I learned. Moving on with the next musketeer that I have in my Taggle team, that is listener. Our listener, Toastmaster Abigail. Toastmaster Abigail, do we have you in the meeting?
Yes.
Over to you.
So I have a couple of questions for you all to check if you were listening clearly. So the first question is, for Akshita's topic, Toastmaster Akshita's topic, what advice would you give to your younger self? I would like to ask, what was her last message, the moral message which she gave? Yeah, should I answer?
Okay, learnings that we had, that is more important than the destiny.
Yeah, that was like one of the messages. But to be precise, it was express yourself more. Don't take stress in life. Yeah. So my second question is from Toastmaster Aishu. So so she had mentioned something about her son pretending to be. What was her son pretending to be?
A car, and she was the tool truck.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you, Nancy. So the next question is from Toastmaster Punith. So what was the advice that he got from um, as a guideline? And what was the advice that he got?
So he got the advice that to be an evaluator, you should have an objective to help others, to give the
Yeah, on point, Karthik. Thank you so much. So my next question is, what did Toastmaster Priyanka enjoy the most? Like, what was that one thing that she enjoyed the most?
Summer camps.
Summer camp.
One incident or event.
Painting. Kaban Park.
Hello.
Kaban Park. Kaban Park summer camp.
For the topic, what little things do you miss about childhood? Yeah.
Painting.
Yeah, correct. Yes. Yeah. And, I think that's it for the quiz.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Abigail. May we have a huge round of applause for our Tiger team here. My one point of recommendation for our listener, it's always good to keep your questions objective instead of subjective. When it's subjective questions, people tend to not remember the entire statement, rather they remember one word answers quickly. And it's good to summarize towards the end. For today's summary, I think no one was listening. Yes, Toastmaster Diana, we'll come back to you. I'll start off with my general evaluation report, starting off with Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster Pranav Pothan. Toastmaster Pranav. Yes, Toastmaster Diana. Toastmaster Pranav, you started off as SA, shared the ground rules for the meeting. Everything was point on, except for one point where you said, shall I start? You don't need to seek permission. You know it's a rule that we start point on time, whether we have rule takers or not. So just start with the meeting, not on time. Next, we had presiding officer, Toastmaster Neha, picking up this role last minute, which is very well, and a role done very well. Kudos to you, Toastmaster Neha, for picking up the role last minute and doing it so well. Your voice, I would say, is a melody. But it's always good to see the presiding officer. That is going to add much more spirit to the entire meeting, because you are the one who's going to presiding over the entire meeting, and everyone is looking up to you. So it's good to be on camera and share your tidbits with the people. This is your time where you can talk about educational achievements, you can talk about birthdays, which was covered later on by Toastmaster of the Day very fluently. You can also connect with your with the members and guests in this point of time. All in all, a job well done, picking it up last minute. I understand that we can't get all the information when we are picking it up last minute. Talking about our Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster of the Day, you started with a smile. You took a pause, a huge smile on your face, and then you started. That's how you set the meeting tone. I was entirely impressed, and I was just looking forward to how many more number of times we can have you as Toastmaster of the Day. Wherever you hidden, you are just like a true gem who had such a control over the entire meeting. No hiccups. Even if there were hiccups, those were handled just so fluently. The transitions were smooth. The introductions were personalized. There was descriptive language used for little things throughout the meeting, sprinkles of those words here and there. Such an amazing vocabulary you have. And to top it all, you had those subtle humor punchlines to make us all laugh. Amazing job done. There was just one slip that happened during the project objectives part. This is something that we are introducing new, so I'm not expecting everyone to know that this is how it is to be done. The third speaker was attempting a project L1P4 where we were talking about the project objective. In case it's a project like this, it's always good to mention the evaluation points from per speech so that the audience is also aware that this is what this person will be evaluated upon along with the project objectives. But apart from that, it was such a flawless job, a job amazingly done. I'm super, super, super impressed. Coming to our TTM, Table Topic Master, what do I say about you? The way you transition from Toastmaster of the Day and to the TTM role, I didn't even feel like that someone else has taken the stage. This is how smooth you picked it up and then continued with the theme, talking about little things, and all your questions were regarding little things. Reminding everyone of their childhood days, those little things that they enjoy. It was, again, beautifully done as Table Topic Master. You had a very good control over the audience where you were asking for volunteers, but at the same time, you were picking up your own volunteers to ensure that we are covering the guest as well as members or someone who's hiding behind the screen, not ready to take up the TT speaker part. You ensured that you are spotting people and asking them to come on stage. One point of recommendation for Table Topic Master here, as much as you were involved in active listening through your entire body language and summarizing the topics, it's always good to enunciate the words while giving out the topic. When you are enunciating the words well, taking proper pauses, that's when people are more able to understand the topic better, and then you don't need to write it in the chat box. In case you think it's a challenge, you can always keep it a practice to write the table topic in the chat box for all the speakers so that there's no challenge of enunciation or understanding here and there due to network glitches or your enunciation. So that's the only thing, but summary at the end, summary towards the beginning, everything put together, you are amazing. Now talking about Diana, I don't see her on camera. Toastmaster Diana, your topic was to talk about little things, and the way you have talked about little things, the way you have mentioned that Toastmasters is a place that means a lot to you. You are always an inspiration for all of us. You always bring up your perspective through chat box, and despite the difficulties you might be facing, we always love to hear your voice, whether it's through chat or howsoever. It's just amazing to have you around. It's just amazing to hear your voice. So bring it on every time you are in the meeting. Just don't hold back. Share your opinions, even if it's not about table topics. I must say, you always applaud the speakers that most of us, many of us don't even do. After every speech, you mention what you loved about each speaker, and that's a job very well done in encouraging everyone. Thank you so much for being here, for encouraging us. With this, I think I've covered all the speakers and the role takers in the meeting today. And that's about my general evaluation report. Before signing off as general evaluator, I would like to ask Toastmaster Karthik as Zoom Master to launch the polls for auxiliary role takers, followed by main role takers. With this is your general evaluator signing off. Thank you so much. Handing it over to distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh Ramamurthy.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Goyal, for the general evaluation session. Give her a big round of applause. There are so many joy and happiness in little things. We all came to know about it. Let me add a few more before I sign off. The leaves of different shapes, sizes, and colors gives us so much of joy. Insects feeding on mulberry leaves, have you seen them? The bees buzzing on the flower, collecting its nectar. The small plant in your garden or a pot which slowly grows up to become a shrub. Have you seen an ant busy shifting its foods to its abode? The rainwater flowing on the road, Ripples of water when you throw a stone when the water is still. The waves hitting your leg when you're on the beach. Have you seen a child licking its ice cream and relishing it? A mother playing with child? So much of joy in little things, isn't it? We can know, cherish, and learn from a lot of these small little ones, little things that we come across our lives. And the biggest thing that we learn from them is positivity. Wishing you all loads of joy, happiness, and bliss that these little things bring to your life. With that, I hand over my stage to our presiding officer who is going to close this meeting, Toastmaster Karthik V. Over to you.
Give a big round of applause to our Toastmaster of the day, Nagesh Ramamurthy, distinguished Toastmaster Nagesh Ramamurthy, for coming up with those little things which actually matter more to us. Give a big round of applause. Okay, now it's time for the result. But before getting to the result, let me ask a few people to have their opinion on how they felt about this meeting. So, do we have any guests in our meeting today? I think no guests now. The floor is open for our own members. So I'd like to ask
Karthik, we do have guests, but our guests are more like family for us now. I think they attend our meetings more regularly than our members. We have guest Diana as well as Ishu Shukla.
Oh, okay. I didn't see. Fine, sorry. So I call upon Ishu Shukla, who is a part of Gabbys. We feel her as a part of Gabbys now. Toastmaster Ishu, please let me know your feedback on the meeting, how it was.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthik. It's near perfect for me wherever I attend Gabbys. Perfection is what you all strive for, and it is evident in every section of the meeting. And I totally resonate with the feeling of that was discussed today, of the joy of little things. I was just watching this video earlier this morning. I will not go into the details, but the summary of that was that we go through our entire life running after the big things, like our career and our ambition. But in the process, we forget about the little things or the time that we need to invest with our families and in our children, and maybe enjoy the process and not just wait for the end result. So that is something, that feeling has stayed with me throughout the day and has culminated with this meeting. So thank you for having me here and calling me a family member. I'll definitely come back. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ishu, for letting us know again the importance of little things. Give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Ishu. Okay, now it's time to announce the results, which I can't wait to be announced. So now I'll go with the best auxiliary role taker, and the best auxiliary role taker for today is Toastmaster Maanvi Kumar. Give a big round of applause to our timer today. And the best TT speaker today is none other than Toastmaster Ishu Shukla. Okay, now the best evaluator. Any guesses? We had 3 evaluators, fantastic evaluators. But I'll not take much time. It is Toastmaster Smruti. Give a big round of applause to her. And the best role taker today is, any guesses? It's none other than our general evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Nancy Goyal. Give a big round of applause for her pertinent evaluation. And guess who is the best speaker? It is me, yours truly. But I seriously didn't get the answer why Vada is called as Vada. But let's have it on personal chat. I also messaged why Vada is called as Vada. With this, Vada, I end the meeting. With this question, I end the meeting, and see you all on Thursday at 7 p.m. Speech marathon. We have 7 speeches, 7 evaluations, and 1 fantastic, energetic TMOD, and a great crucial role taker, and that is timer. So see you on Thursday with speech marathon and at 7 p.m. Till then, bye, good night, take care.
Karthik, you forgot Diana's award.
Oh, okay. See, that I actually did it not purposely, I forgot. So the best most enthusiastic role, or the best most enthusiastic participant of all the time, and we know that is Diana. I want everyone to unmute and say Diana. Who is the most enthusiastic participant?
Toastmaster Diana.
Okay, what I'm going to do now? Guess I'm going to spotlight her because that's my job. Okay. Diana, please speak out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana, for being the most enthusiastic participant of all time. Yes. And thank you for that lovely PT speech. I hope so. One evaluation I have for you, Diana, is I want you to write a long speech, TT speech. It is just 38 minutes. So next time you will write a long TT speech. Okay? Promise? Fine. Okay, so that was our most enthusiastic participant, Diana. So with this, I now close the meeting to end. Thank you all. See you on Thursday. Bye.
Thank you.